So White Forest is an actual monster in Genesys now, eh? You guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. This format still looks like it's maybe plagued by Blitzclick interactions. Maybe it's just me looking at this top cut, but I feel like there's an awful lot of Blitzclick kind of running around in this meta. Maybe that'll change in the future as more point redistributions kind of come down from the top and we kind of see, that adjustment being made. But let's talk about the reality of this format. Genesys is getting the same pricing as actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. It is worth it to look at these events and to give them consideration to want to play, especially if you're somebody that is looking at that new BLS prize card and you're going, bling, bling, there's money to be made. So that's why people are looking at Genesys format, because only 169 players entering into this event and, making a top 32 finish is absolutely very worth it. Now, Blitzclick is your dominating deck right now until the next points update. We do see some White Forest action in here with the toy box deck. I did not expect to see any sort of, talk about this deck whatsoever, but honestly, I'm really happy to see that. I think that that's one of the more interesting choices that I've seen people kind of bring into this format. This format is always plagued by the newest innovations, obviously, because, the new cards are the go-to sources. So to see, White Forest toys, definitely getting that showing, I think is good. We do still have ye old Radiant Typhoon. I mean, there's no real reason not to play Radiant Typhoon in this format. We also have Fairy Tales doing exactly what they do with Invoked, and then we also get to see Draco Tail with Predants now. This format is so very interesting, just looking at the changes that we have. So winning the event here was a nil playing Blitzclick. Now, in terms of your point distributions, pot of extracts, you have the double Foolish Burial Goods. I mean, is that it? We also have some Lancias down here. You dedicated to this engine, I kid you not, 20, 27, 34, 35, 36. That was it. They didn't even need to choose to play anything else. This is why, when you're looking at the Blitzclick cards, I do hope that we do see some points kind of coming down on us. Maybe there was some point distributions they've just not updated on here. That could be the case. I also see that we are playing the Astrazama Urania. This card definitely gets a pass in this format. Urania being able to provide you with cover to be able to kind of rotate some resources back in for you is definitely worth it. Also, this extra deck is hilarious, man. This just proves how good Blitzclick actually is. They don't need their extra deck. White Forest toys with you saw that, my buddy is a shield, right? My buddy is a shield down here in the extra deck is great. Now, I see we are playing evenly matches. I mean, being able to use evenlies to kind of tilt the format a little bit on its axis is really good. Obviously, being able just to go second with evenlies as a source for you to break through boards will always be something that is going to be important and needs to be discussed. Now, we've also got Cosmic Cyclones, we have Forbidden Chalices. Chalice being able to provide you with a, force the opponent to have to interact and blow a negate is usually pretty good, man. I feel like we don't talk enough about targeting negation options that actually, force the opponent to respond, or you just get to provide yourself with an answer just to kind of be able to kind of go through those additional play lines, which that is really good. In terms of your hand traps, I mean, it's just like ogres right now. Everything else in Skullmeisters because, they're actually free. Next up, we get to see Radiant Typhoon piloted by Felix. This list, actually, you do get to see Radiant Typhoon have some decent pointings. As you can see, the Angry Bird, which is the heart and soul of this deck, is at 7 points. And then all Doms end up being at 7. So we do get to see Chalices and Cosmics kind of bringing it on home. But also, you have some extreme heavy point dedication within the spell side of this deck. Well, to be fair, these cards say draw cards and search cards. Anything that we've learned within this format, these are going to be critically important tools to kind of be able to do the thing. I also see we got Totem Bird down here as well. And we have the mighty Eye of Truth. Forcing hands to be revealed with the Eye of Truth so you can see all, know-all is absolutely hilarious. Like, this is the kind of stuff that makes this format kind of fun. We also do get to see the Gravekeeper's Watcher down here, getting the chance to kind of show up and do some good as well. Next up here, we have Aville's Blitzclick strategy. Now, I see this duelist chose to go a little bit heavier on the side of the pot of extras. And, you know, previously we saw 2 versus 3. Kind of take your coin flip with however many of these that you want to go with, man. I think you're going to have plenty of opportunities to make the decisions on what you're going to want to do with these, which is just fine. I also do see we have Final Bringer of End of Times in here. This extra deck, once again, is hilarious. I love the fact that, you know, if there was like extra deck ripping shenanigans more in this format, I have a feeling some people just look at these extra decks going first, deciding, you know, all right, what do I rip from this? And then you reveal this extra deck and you're just like, huh? What's going on here? You know, there's no Fallen of Virtuous targets in this format because TFAV is too costly. You know, nobody wants to be able to deal with that. So, you know, instead we create the allure of super poly targets, I guess. Next up here, we have the Draco tail pile playing the Predaplant package. Now, Predaplant package, especially Longophilia here, gets you a free play spread counter, but it also lets you set a set poly from your graveyard. Or, you did see that correctly, it does also pull back from banishment, which I don't know how many polys you're going to get in the banish pile, in theory, playing this deck, but, you know, I digress. There is a possibility that some weird things could potentially happen in the course of playing the game. We've seen it before. I also see we are dedicating the King of the Swamps. You know, when your names become too expensive to play, you know, you kind of have to start making out some sub options. And I don't terribly hate this, like, right? Because this just gets to be a discard search for a poly, to have this acting as a working tool, but also, you know, gets to work as Alistair the Invoker. So, you know, depending on how you want to go about that. Next up here, we have the Blitzclick strategy yet again. I see. So we took our point dedication and we shoved it into 7 Tachyons, which isn't terrible, right? Like, 7 Tachyons get you bridging, because, you know, you're going to be revealing your rank 4, and then just kind of going to town, which is going to be this. And then once again, you know, you just go ahead and toss your extra deck in a pile over in the corner, because you don't really get to use much of it. Though, I guess there is some world where maybe it does come up a little bit more. But, okay, I also do see we have Raigekis in here. Kind of be able to clear things up, which is good. We also do get to see some Trap Eaters. Also, this duelist was extremely aggressive. They had Raigekis and Dark Holes present in this. Good job, honestly. I, too, don't like my opponent getting the chance to really build up a field. You know, if you can control everything that the opponent's doing, then effectively you should just be able to win the game. Next up here, we have more Blitzclick. This one is actually playing the Link Apple. Reveal this, the banish face up 1 random face down card from your extra deck, and then special summon this card. If banished this, or the banished card was a Link monster, otherwise discard this card, and if you do, draw a card. This is a... Is this just a draw card? Like, there's no Link monsters in this format, like, at all. They're completely, like, scraped out. They're banned, you know, no allowed Reno. So what you get to see here is a card like Link Apple that just gets to turn into a filter card. You know, Upstart Goblins are a little bit of money, but, you know, I don't really give a crap about my extra deck in this format. So you can make some bad sub options and actually, dare I say, it gets to work. We also have Gordian Slicers in here. The fact that Gordian Slicer is not pointed in this format is a little bit interesting, honestly. I feel like having that knowledge now, though, you could probably do some devastating things with that. Okay, and then last but not least here, we get the Fairy Tale deck. And Fairy Tale Snow's only 10 points in this format, but, you know, Alistair the Invoker and friends just kind of get to come in here and do their thing. Now, obviously, you know, there's no Makaba, because Makaba is just a toxic negate, you know. We don't want them negates in our format, you know, but we can actually use a lot of the other tools, and then Hyper Aeon here, just being able to have to use other things to make into it. It's pretty good. Also, shout out to this side deck, man. Mask Restricts, Eye of Truce, Omega Summon. You have a lot of good tools available to you, and quite honestly, I like that. I like that we have our coverage here to be able to do things. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.